Which one you want to go with first, B?
B, we can do Eem Triplin. We can do
All
Eem.
right.
Because I
Let's
know
talk
you're new
about
to him, right?
new. No.
Hmm.
In terms of like listening to a whole album, yeah, I guess. But I've been heard of him from TikTok. He's one of them artists that
I've,
I've heard of him from TikTok, but I never like was into like wanting to get a full project from him. And I will say, going into this project, I was right. Like I was completely right on my hypothesis or why I didn't think I would like a project like this. But let's go ahead and talk about
mm,
Ian Triplin's Melody of a Memory. This is an album. This is his debut album, and I don't know exactly where he's from. I didn't have time to do research this weekend on him. But this isn't my first time listening to Ian Triplin's music. I've heard plenty of his songs here and there through my Spotify algorithm off of TikTok. That's why I actually discovered him off of his TikTok. Heard some of his songs on there. Him with that awkward freestyle with Kim Kardashian from the Ray J tape as the cover on the actual single. Going into this project, Ian Triplin's
sampled
style.
Tyler Creator's Awkward. I say he
Oh,
sampled Tyler
oh,
Creator Awkward on there.
oh. But I'm about to say something kind of similar. Going into this project, Aim Triplin is like this melodic. He's singer, rapper. Where would you categorize this exactly?
I feel like he rap, but he has melodies, like his little melodies and his voice, his nasally voice he raps with, but
Yeah, with that little
some type
effect
of
that he
like
puts on
that
it,
little
which
effect he put on the voice.
which I was kind of worried about that effect going into the project, and he uses it all the way through, which sometimes it makes it feel soulless is the best way I can say it. It takes away some
Hmm.
of the character. It takes away some of the energy he has with it. The main thing you're going to for him is with his melody and his flows and the way that he
Hmm.
actually gets on the beat itself. Um, Most of the subject matter is very samey throughout this whole thing. He's talking about girls, relationships, stuff like that. There are some songs I do like from here, but I will say though, going into this project and coming out of it, I'm not taking any special songs out of this. Like I'm not putting any of these songs on my playlist. None of these songs really stand out from one of another for me. This isn't bad music. If you like Ian Triplin's style, you'll like this project. But in terms of like taking something out of this project, I didn't really take much of who he is out of this. In terms of like what makes Ian Triplin and not like his relationship with women's per se. And also, I don't know if it's just me. He sounds a lot like Tyler the Creator's Igor persona off of the Igor album when he does that little voice that right out of time, running out of time. A lot of this production and a lot of the sonics itself reminds me of Tyler the Creator's Igor voice off of that album itself. And I was just like, this sounds like Igor kind of, but a less polished version of what Tyler the Creator was doing on there. But overall, I think I'm half and half with this project because there are some songs I'm like, when I listen to it, it's cool. You're gonna catch a vibe. But like I said, coming out of this, I just felt like it was one big song. And I'm just like, I didn't really take too much out of this. He's still young, still growing. But for me, it's that voice and the way he styles his melodies and stuff like that. There's not much I can really pull out of this style. And I will honestly say this style really isn't for me per se. Production was cool. I like Tyler Dollar Sign on that one song that he was on. But yeah, like I said, it's just like nothing really stood out to me on this project per se. Dope that it's his debut, but it wasn't anything for me to be like, I can recommend this. Unless you want to catch a vibe, yeah, I can recommend this. But yeah, what do you think about this?
I think this is actual, like I know it's his debut album, but I don't even think he put out. Have you ever put out a mixtape? He's more of like a single guy, right? And like
I'll,
videos.
I'll look that up
Cause
while you talk.
cause I got introduced to him on YouTube in like 2021. I'm not on TikTok, so I didn't know. And it was a few songs that I liked. I liked before the album, like you said, Awkward, Fendi Belt. I think Fendi Belt that wrapped that around my head. Um,
Yeah, he only has
Best Friend, I think.
EPs.
You say what? He
He
just
only
did
has
like
EPs.
EPs, right?
Hmm.
So coming to this album, he's still young, 24, and he's from Pennsylvania, I believe,
Okay.
like outside of like, I don't know if it's close to Philly where he's from, but he's from like out that area. Um, but he uh he kind of surprised me with his how because he's a producer first.
Hmm.
I think he
I've heard.
produced a good amount of this album as well, and
Oh,
I
if he
think
didn't,
he
that
like
gives
you,
this a notch. Then I give it a
yeah,
notch. Then.
yeah. Yeah, because he's a producer turned like rapper, and you could tell he even from Awkward, that single he put out years ago, it has the Awkward Tyler Creator sample in it. I know he pulls from Tyler as well, but to me, like you said, it could give you that, but I feel like he have his own unique voice, what he do, and he does it his way. I couldn't say he sounds like somebody, but I understand production choices he can grab for some of his influences. But I was like, dang, I'm pretty uh uh what's the word I'm looking for? Impressed about the direction he went because if you look at his singles, the production felt a little like samey, and here he grabbed some different sounds. His melodies was a little different. I was like, okay, I see you doing a little yeah. Subject matter pretty much the same thing about women, relationships, stuff like that. You didn't really get nothing about who he is, but I feel like a lot of artists these days, especially like artists like him, you're not really want to get that from them. Maybe one song here and there on like a project, but I think with this one he was trying to make a debut. Like I want to kind of put more into my production, and that's kind of what I got from here. Um, I enjoyed this project. More I listened to it, I liked it even more. I love the intro. Uh, what Fiji was dope. I
Yeah,
love
I like the intro
yeah,
and the
out
outro. I
yeah,
love both of those
yeah,
tracks.
yeah. Out of Miami is dope to me. I need a fiance, and
I
that
did
gives
not
me
like
that.
that, and
I
that's
love
where
that
the like
song.
the
That gives
corny
me
like
like
writing came in for me, and I'm just like, yeah, this ain't doing it for me.
that's that gives me like the Eem Triplin that I was introduced to, but production wise a little bit more on it. I don't know. I like this beat. Crazy Hoes was dope to me. I like Tall Tales. And like you said, Kingdoms of My Heart, I like that. I like that too. Because
Mhm.
he had like singers now. Like it wasn't just him. He had, other people on these songs. I liked it. I was like, hey, it's all right. It's not like the best debut I heard, of course, but like I think it was a good debut for him. I think it's some stuff that you can grab from this. It's some stuff, yeah, I didn't really care for, but I feel like he's going into a good direction because I'm pretty sure as he get older, he might get away from that voice, but I don't know how he will turn out when it comes to him as a lyricist or just lyrically, like writing. But he hopefully he gets better, but I think he's in that vibey. So I'm looking for him more for the melodies and I guess the production and the bounce the vibes, pretty much. That's why, be like, I'm not even realistic to what he's saying. I'm like, hey,
So
I like this little
basically,
pocket he in.
so basically, he's like a Pierre Bourne for you.
Yeah, pretty much. I
Put
don't
him
look.
putting him in that category. Okay, I can understand a bit more.
Mm,
I guess for me, like it still doesn't hit for me all the way, and that's mostly
yeah,
because of
yeah.
his actual songwriting and melodies himself. Because now, if I'm putting him in that category, I got someone to compare him to really like put him up. And I'm not going to compare it
Hmm.
production wise because Pierre's going to be, Pierre's
Yeah,
Pierre.
much
But
better.
melody
Hmm.
wise, I think also Pierre is better in terms of like being able to make a better song. Like he does have some
Hmm.
catchy hooks here and there, but there's that stuff. I didn't want to be Beyonce, fiance. I want Ariana. This is the sort of stuff that I'm just like,
Hmm.
kind of
Yeah,
cringe for me.
it could be childish.
Yeah, and that's all right because he is younger. So I'm an
Hmm.
uncle. This is the uncle points talking. Uh,
You're a wild
but
Unc B.
exactly, I'm a YN unc. But like I said, I like the intro. Came in this beat.
Yeah.
I like
Mm,
the way he set
mm,
the tone. I'm like, all right, cool. I like if
hmm.
we being honest. I like Fiji, and it took me a few times. I like 23. I did not like
Hmm.
that Do Ya song. I did not like it. And that was like the single for this album. That it missed me. Uh I like Out Miami featuring Ty Dolla Sign. I did not like
Hmm.
that. If you know, then you know. Yeah. I didn't
No.
like that song. I can get how people will like it though. I'm not saying it's a
Yeah.
bad song. I didn't like the fiance. I like Miss Me. I like Crazy H Words. And then I like Kingdom of Hearts. I gave this album like for me like it's like a 2.5. Like I'm just like I'm in the middle of it. It's not bad. It's a solid project for who he is. I'm just wondering like where can you go from here and it not sound too samey? Because
Hmm.
for him, he doesn't really do anything different with his voice. And that little effect he puts on his voice, I feel like is what holds him back. Because at least with someone like Pierre, and that's the best way I could articulate my point. Pierre
Hmm.
kind of goes in different ranges. He uses the auto tune. You could tell he's
Hmm.
singing, but he also gets in his rappy rap. Well, he tries to rap.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And so it's gonna be hard for someone like this to make it sound different except sonically. I think sonically is where he's going to really excel with his next project. Because for me, if it sounds sonically good, he could maybe write a good song to it, but also the pen got to be better too, though. So yeah,
Hmm.
sonically, I think he's there. Pen wise, the pen got to match with the sonics as well.
So you think the voice make it a little, I don't know, repetitive in a way?
Yeah, the voice
Like
makes it
it
super
don't it don't
repetitive.
it don't make it stand out because you still get the same.
So this is the thing. It sounds good in pieces. Like if I hear one
Hmm.
song, I'm like, oh, this kid sounds different.
Hmm.
When I hear a whole project of it, I'm like, this makes him
It's like
sound the same on every single song. Like I
hmm.
was like, okay, I'm getting exhausted of his sound now. But like I said, when you first
Hmm.
hear it, when I first heard him, I'm like, okay, that's what made him stand out because he has a different sounding voice because
Hmm.
he's putting that effect on there. But
Right.
through a whole album, it sounds very samey.
Mm. I got you.
But like I said, if I would have heard these songs like by themselves without the context of the album, I probably would have liked more of these songs, some of these songs even more.
Hmm.
But hearing them in the
Hmm.
context, I'm like, all right, I'm kind of getting drowned out by that one little distorted sound or effect you put on your voice,
Yeah.
and now it's gonna make everything else sound a bit samey.
Yeah. I got you. I understand. There's some tracks on here I like. I might have to, I'm gonna throw one track like I'm doing. I'm making a playlist of the year. Each
Mm-hmm.
album I listen to, if I find an album I like, I chunk it on that playlist. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I think it was a step up from his singles and EPs he put out. But like I said, well, pretty much like you said, I agree with when it comes to, his lyrics could be a little childish, and he was hitting the different little melodies, but he kind of still was like samey. But I think he just gonna have to grow in that. And I don't know if that's something he's not really focused on. I think he with this album he kind of focused more on production. Like I feel like he was like, I'm just gonna catch the pocket, but I want to like get better with making beats, get better with my production because like I said, he is a producer first. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's gonna take him some time to establish more of a sound or a different elevate, I say involve his sound uh
Mm-hmm.
lyrically, or guess, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
vocally or whatever you want to do with it.
I
Cause
think sonically though it sounds really good though.
yeah, like
Sonically,
yeah,
it's very
yeah, yeah,
solid. I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
say that it sounds like anything else I've heard
Oh nah,
specifically.
nah,
The
nah.
closest thing I can say is like a Igor. That's the
Hmm.
closest
And
thing
you were
I could
saying that's
say.
what some of the production gave you that feeling
Yeah,
because
they're
he
like
used a little
running out
sense
of
there.
time, running
Yeah,
out of
he used a little
time.
sense and stuff, but it wasn't. It was also him. Like
Yeah, it was.
you know
Yeah,
how
like I
some
wasn't saying, oh, this
artists,
is Igor Jr. Yeah.
yeah, you know how some artists just don't know how to have their own identity.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because they make certain sense that
Did you see
we
what
do
that one
chord
kid said?
progressions.
That one person that commented on our review of that. Thank you for
Uh
telling the truth. You
huh.
saw
Uh
that?
huh. I commented on there. I said we got killed for this.
But yeah, man, Eem Triplin, Melody of a Memory. I
Mhm.
think it was a solid project, man. I
It's
think
a
it was
solid
solid.
debut for him. I will say that I'm waiting for some more growth. Pause on that. But
Hmm.
I'm ready to see where he's at because I'm not saying like he gotta be the next Pierre or anything like that. It took Pierre into the life of Pierre 4 to really catch his little stride. So hey, if we get a melody of a memory 4 and it's popping off, shoot, if you start popping off at 2 or 3, hey, I'm there. I'm giving you room
What
to
I
grow
say,
right now. Pause on
boy, I
that.
said Melody of Memory 4.
Hey, life will be here for it. Hey, hey, I'm just saying. Yeah, let us know what y'all think about that Eam Triplin down in the comment section down below if y'all heard it, or if y'all got a chance to listen to it, or if you're thinking about listening to it.
Man, shout out to Beyond Beats and Culture.